The Tsetse fly, also called tic-tac flies, is one of the most overpowered insect classes and the 5th deadliest class in game. The Tsetse is dangerous to beast and human classes alike, getting around 10,000 KOs a year. Because of this, the class has been region locked to the tropical parts of Africa. Before humans spec'd into traps in modern medicine, upwards of 30,000 players are getting ganked by Tsetses in the zone. The Tsetse stats are plain and seemingly unremarkable, having just enough power to pierce the thick hide of a crocodile with its saw-like proboscis. So what makes the Tsetse stand out from other insect classes? Once it gains enough XP, it usually specs into a passive parasitic affliction ability called trypanosoma, and if bitten, can cause trypanosomiasis, known as sleeping sickness. This long-lasting dot or damage over time ability causes fever, headaches, itchiness, and joint pain 1 to 2 weeks after the bite. Weeks to months later, the second stage of the affliction begins, by ramping up damage along with confusion, poor condition, numbness, trouble sleeping, followed by permanent logout of current session. Let's take a closer look at the skill tree to see the Tsetse playstyle. I'm personally a big fan of any affliction tree. At level 1, you start out as a larva, where you dig deep down into the dirt and slowly gain XP till you reach level 5. By then, you should have enough skill points for Puparian, where you change into an egg-like class. This effect lasts 30 to 40 days. This will drastically increase your defense, but you lose mobility and suffer massive debuff to other stats. Beginning at level 10, you start to develop your bread and butter skills. The tic-tac talent will increase your game time 3 to 4 months. From here, you have access to your main skills, such as hatchet wings, which allows flight, making you your own mount. This will allow you to explore areas that a land mount could not. Blood Feast is a channeling move that allows you to drain the HP of another class. The player can metabolize that to gain XP. If you're a female player, this also allows you to spawn a larva, if you use the move pheromone on a male player, assuming that the male mated with you and didn't mistake you for a piece of wood. Your last and best skill, Trypanosoma, the dot ability that was discussed earlier. It's passive and will take the effect when you use Blood Feast. Some Tsetse players don't bother speccing into it. I wouldn't recommend that if you want to remain viable to the zone. Most indigenous classes of Africa are immune to the Tsetse trypanosoma, leaving humans, pets, and livestock classes open to infection. This is due to their lack of EP or evolution points in the region. New or foreign classes will need to spend a lot of time in the zone if they wish to unlock the same immune skill, and can do so once they have enough EP. The Tsetse has been called the Guardians of Africa because without them, much of the tropical region would be destroyed by overpowered human classes. This gives the immune indigenous classes more time to earn XP and gain evolution points, leaving much of tropical Africa just as it is, a natural untainted biosphere. So, for now, any infected by its affliction will need to see a human support class. So what tier insect is the Tsetse fly? The tier of an animal is measured by its playtime, its ability to get jiggy with it, and how well it's able to defend itself. First up is the Tsetse game time. Most insect classes don't fare well when it comes to longevity, and the Tsetse is no exception, living 30 days as a larva and up to 3 months as an adult. Its game time is severely limited even for an insect class, getting around 120 days of gameplay. Not the worst. Compared to mayflies' 24-hour game time, it's doing alright, but nowhere near the best. Other insect classes such as termite queens get 50 years, and a Tsetse would have to play 237 times just to get the average playtime of one human class player of 79 years. This gives the Tsetse a C- for game time. So, can the Tsetse fly get down to reproductive business? Let's find out. Most insect classes have short playthroughs, and almost everything eats them for XP. The majority of insect players make up for this by speccing into egg cluster abilities, allowing them to lay massive amounts of spawn at a time. For example, when a housefly lays eggs, it can lay up to 150 that hatch into maggots in less than 24 hours. The Tsetse fly egg hatches in the female, and she gives live birth to one larva about every 9 days. The adult Tsetse has 90 days of game time. If the female is on the ball, so to say, she can have up to 10 larvae during her playthrough. Not much spawn for an insect class. The Tsetse gets a C- for genetic success. Although the Tsetse is large for a fly, it's still only 14 millimeters in length, making it easy XP for a lot of other classes, including ants, spiders, wasps, and of course, human players. If it weren't for the traps and poisons, survivability would be a B for this class. However, some populations of the Tsetse have dropped by 99% in some regions due to the effectiveness of the players using their special skills. And if human players are good at anything in the game, it's taking out other players. If it weren't for the region lock and the most powerful class in the game stepping in to handle the Tsetse population, Tsetses could easily rank number 2 for deadliest animal class. Although the Tsetse has potential to be very viable, it only stands for now as a means to keep the African biome in a natural state. The Tsetse gets a D for survivability. The Tsetse is not necessarily OP, it's just a glass cannon with a really good move that works well when coupled with its mobility. If the Tsetse lost either its hatchet wings or its affliction skill, this class would lose almost all of its viability to the region. But on the other hand, having a move so deadly that it puts the class on a wanted list that could put it into extinction is not that viable either. Until the game updates or expands the Tsetse play area, the Tik-Tik will sit as a high D tier insect. Hello everyone, thank you for watching this week's episode. You can always gain some extra XP by hitting that like button, and you can always join the guilds by subscribing to this channel. If you would like me to cover a certain class, be sure to drop a comment below. And always, you guys, take it easy. I will see you again real soon. Thanks again for watching. Until next time.